Oh yeah, we bike. Welcome to this fourth installment of Charges to the Game. It is your guy Craig, and as you fine folks can see out there, I am all the way in the Charges Christmas spirit. Hope you are as well. And that reminds me, when this comes out, it'll be Christmas Eve. So let me first start off by saying Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all you good folks out there. Enjoy this time, man. Family, friends, food, everything that goes along with it. Do not take it for granted. All right? I'm not getting into that Chiefs game last week. I was there. It was my first experience at SoFi. If you want to see how I felt about it, go tune into the Chargers Chat Pod. But you already do that, right? Y'all are smart people. You'll see how I felt about it. Overall, fantastic experience, with the exception of the loss. But again, my heart is healing. Bear with me. We really don't even have to talk that much about the Texans, to be honest with you, because that's a game the Chargers should win. I don't see them not winning it. We know about the COVID stuff that's going on. Joey's out, which I really wish he wasn't, because, this could easily be a career game for him. That Texans offensive line is beat to hell. They've got a guy that they drafted to play tackle, who they played at guard, and then I think they moved him to tackle, and now he's back at guard. It's all kind of jacked up over there. So I don't feel bad for him. Don't ever talk to me about injuries or offensive line issues. I'm a Chargers fan. Find something else. Die on another hill. That ain't the one, boss. But look, a little bit on the COVID stuff, by the way. Let's be honest, man. The NFL is a business. What do most businesses come down to? What is their main concern? The bottom line. There's only but so long the NFL is going to allow their product to suffer, because it's all about keeping those pockets situated, man. I'm not surprised at all those protocols were changed up or updated. But let's think about this. Like, if safety was really, really what they cared about, a player that tests positive but is asymptomatic still having the ability to play doesn't mean that that player can't then pass COVID on to another one who it may have a more adverse effect on. Have we not learned that yet? But again, I digress. It's the NFL. It's about that paper, dollar bill. Cash rules everything around me. Wu-Tang told you best. So, don't fool yourselves about it. Let's just be honest and move forward amicably. Here's what it is. But let's talk a little bit more about what I really have on my mind this week. I mentioned it a little bit on Twitter. It's about our guy Mike Will. I know how some of you feel. I'm going to be honest. To keep it a buck, you got to be honest. I was right there with y'all at the beginning of the season. Pay the man. Pay that man his money. I was with you, man. Just sign him up. What does he want? Top of the market money? Not necessarily want to have to pay him, but the way he was putting on in those first 3 or 4 games, it made sense. And then some things changed. And I might have gotten caught up in it a little bit and ignored what I've seen previously and just kind of attributed it to the old regime and them misusing him. And now this one knowing exactly what to do. And now we're going to get the most out of him. It just so happens to be in a contract year. But, this is what I believe in, man. You can formulate an opinion. And when you're given new information, you can change your opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. How I felt before the season started was, if they had traded him, I would have been fine with it. When the season started and he was going off for the first few games, oh cool, sign him up. Now, I don't really know. Here's the reason why. And there's a couple things. So let's start here. The beginning of the season, and I've mentioned this before, it was a brand new Mike Will to everyone, including all of you and myself and the rest of the NFL. They were accustomed to him being a down-the-field 50-50 ball guy, and Lombardi basically put him in the Michael Thomas role. He was an ex-receiver, running short, intermediate route, slants, short in-breaking stuff, goes every once in a while, and out-breaking routes to the numbers. And he was just getting a ton of volume, getting his hands on a bunch of balls, and making plays. And then when he get the deep stuff going is because teams then overcompensated for the short stuff, and he was just flying free in the secondary with no one around him. Yada, yada, yada. You know the story. We've been through this 1,000,001 times. What have we learned for the remainder of the season after those first 3 or 4 weeks? Well, we really didn't learn anything. We were just reminded. Mike has his shortcomings. Once defenses understood the way the Chargers wanted to utilize him, they just switched things up and they played more disciplined defense. The other stuff didn't really change as far as Mike from a technical standpoint goes. He's still not a great route runner. He's not super explosive coming out of his breaks, which is why he doesn't create a ton of separation. It's not for lack of effort on Herbert's part. I mean, you saw even last week, he got targets, didn't have a bunch of catches, and a lot of that's because when your main thing is contested catches, and you don't necessarily catch the ball with your hands, because that's the thing. He likes to cradle it. Ball gets into his pads. We've been down this road before, too. It affects things. And unfortunately for him, his numbers have taken a dip. Now, he started off with a bang, and some really big plays have helped his numbers overall. He's close to being over 1,000 yards receiving, and he should get there. It'll be both he and Keenan, because Keenan's already surpassed that. But ultimately, he went from being what we saw as the 1A to kind of disappearing at times in games, and then he come up with another big play here and there, particularly when they would use him again in that like down the field big play role. Other than that, things have been pretty inconsistent. So ask yourself this question: are you willing to pay Mike Williams Devontae Adams money this coming off season, or will they franchise him, which is what I think they probably will do, and I'm fine with that. If they franchise him, I mean, it's 1 year, see how it goes. But if they decide to let him walk, I'm curious to see what the plan is moving forward. And here's why I'm kind of more so leaning towards looking at doing something different. Rock with me for a second. I know some of y'all think I'm crazy, and a lot of you like Mike Will apologists are going to want to have my head, but hear me out real quick. Who are your top 5 wide receivers in the NFL right now? Let's rattle off some names. You've got Devontae Adams, right? Cooper Kupp having an amazing year. You could go, of course, DeAndre Hopkins. You've got Jefferson, who already guy. You could say Tyreek Hill. So that's, 5. How many did I name that? Pretty sure it was 5. Let's round this out. You can even go ahead, and if you want to have somewhere in between like that 4 and 5 spot, if you want to alternate any of these names, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, those guys, right? Tell me something. When you think about them, what are some of their top attributes? When you look at a guy like Tyreek Hill, ridiculously athletic, quick twitch, can run every route, explosive. Cooper Kupp, tremendous route runner, fantastic hands, someone who gets in and out of breaks super easy. Devontae Adams, same thing. It's like literally like the same thing as Cooper Kupp. Then even Keenan Allen, we know who Keenan is. We know what Slay do. Superior route runner, and he can even freelance routes. He's so elusive in his route running. Everything looks the same off of the line of scrimmage. He runs everything at the same speed, so you never know what route he's running. So while I'm doing all this word salad stuff and heaping praise on all these dudes, do you notice the one thing that I didn't say about any of them? Take that back. I didn't say this, but also the one thing that you identify with Mike Will, you didn't hear me say about any of those guys. When you think Mike Williams, you think what? 50-50. Deep guy. The deep part's fine, but typically it's contested deep catches. None of the guys that I mentioned before have that as their main attribute, but that's Mike's thing. He's the contested catch 50-50 guy. I'm saying all that to say that the top wide receivers in the league today are not that archetype. They have some very, very glaring differences, and I think the Chargers need to focus on that to round out their receiving core. Is there a place for Mike Williams? Absolutely. He comes up with big catches. Particularly, it tends to happen in clutch moments, and we all appreciate that. But what we can't have is a receiver getting paid top of the market money disappearing for quarters at a time. Especially when you have all that other talent on the field surrounding him. It should make life much easier for him, but that's the problem. On ability alone, Mike Williams is a very gifted athlete. But for the position of wide receiver, as it's currently played in the NFL of now, and the defensive backs out there, and hell, even the linebackers, all these guys are supremely athletic, and just being a big body and boxing dudes out really isn't enough. I mean, right now we don't have them, but what is it exactly that we couldn't do with Donald Parham that we do with Mike Williams? Now, Mike Williams is faster, yes, but he's not blazing fast. Neither is Donald Parham, but he's fast for a 6'8" dude with a near 40-inch vertical, which, by the way, he's a more explosive athlete in Mike Williams in that regard. Look, I didn't do this to make a comparison between Parham and Williams. I'm just saying that he could be used similarly. If you want to do jump balls and contested catches, I think he could fit that bill. Also, Joshua Palmer, that's kind of a part of his arsenal as well. He just doesn't have the size that Mike Williams does, but he's not a small dude by any means, and he's a very physical wide receiver. So we all know what the element of this team that's missing that needs to be updated is, and that's speed, man. On the offensive side of the ball, that is. And that's kind of where I'm going with that this week. Those are my feelings and opinions on it. I know a lot of people won't like it. I get it. I mean, but look, I respect anything you guys feel. Because you're entitled to your opinions. I may not agree with them, but that's inconsequential. Again, that's where I'm going with this. That's what I think the Chargers should do. What I think they will do is, like I said before, probably franchise tag the dude, which I don't hate, but if they're looking to become a more explosive offense, they could add another quick twitch piece, but then that wide receiver room gets a little crowded. And what it all boils down to is what they're looking to do with that roster come the end of the year. I think there are going to be some significant changes made on the defensive side of the ball, and I think there'll be a shakeup in the wide receiver room. But just mark that down. We'll see where it goes. Call me out if it doesn't. I don't care. I'm here for it. But yo, Christmas, enjoy it. Have fun. I won't take up any more of your time. I will catch you guys next week. It's on the Charger Chat Pod. Oh yeah, I might pop up somewhere else. Keep an eye out. Maybe. Just saying. But you know what it is. It's your boy, Mr. Top Flight. You know what we do over here. Bo Gang Hope. Charge to the game. I'm gone.